Shall I start now? Hello?
Again,
Shall I start?
again.
Okay. Namaskar, all of you, and good evening, esteemed members of the philosophy family and respected members of the organizing committee of philosophy family. And today's young star attraction, none other than Ashirbad Das. uh, I am directly, just without wasting any time, because we are just 5 minutes or 10 minutes behind the time. So without wasting much of our time, I welcome and invite the very promising and a talented board amidst all of us, who is none other than our young talent, and who happen to be a undergraduate English honor student of Noyagad Autonomous College, Noyagad, and he is none other than Ashirbad Das. He has already known to all of us, and he has already delivered in the physical mode, in the many talks in the physical mode in intellectual forum that is well known as the Wisdom Forum, I think. And here also in the philosophy family, he has delivered a talk on a very contemporary topic, that is about death. That is that the title was Death Consciousness, and another talk was on life. The title was Game of Life, and he is a very eloquent and very revolutionary, motivational speaker, you can say. And today he is going to address us on the topic that is out of the box thinking. And you can say, in one sentence, I can introduce to our esteemed participants that he is not only an eloquent speaker, but at the same time he is a revolutionary thinker as well as a creative thinker. So with this, let us welcome the promising board of our philosophy family, Mr. Ashirbad Das. Please carry on. The platform is handed over to Ashirbad Das.
Namaskar.
Okay.
Respected Kalyani ma'am, good evening. Respected all present here. Good evening, everyone. So I have chosen the topic out of box thinking, so that we could discuss about the capability of human being to think out of the box. So first we need to understand that about which box we are going to discuss about. If there is something known as out of box thinking, then what is that box that we are talking about? So we can't think out of our mind, right? We can't think out of our mind. So the box, mind is not the box. So box is something different. The box that we are going to talk about, that is not mind. That box is the boundaries that we have created in our mind between what we know and what we don't know yet. This is the boundary, and we need to come out of it. That is out of box thinking. The box means the boundary, it depends upon us that how large is the wall that we have created in our mind, that our past impressions that we have created in our mind, that explains the box that we are going to talk about. So what is the need of to think out of the box? what is the essential why one should be an out of box thinker? What's the necessity? So creativity comes out of box thinking. Somebody who is in inside the box, who is inside the boundary, he can't be creative. He or she can never be creative. When Shakespeare writes a poem, or when someone invents something, when Graham Bell invented the phone, or he invented the microphone, it's all related to out of box thinking, something which we can't think about, but he not only think it but also does it. That is the difference between, that is the creativity, that human being has the capability of getting, has the capability that he could be a good out of box thinker. So we come so we discussed about what is the box means the boundary. So now we are coming to thinking. There is another word in the topic, thinking. Think, thinking relates to thought, what we think, what comes to in our mind. So ठीक ଅଛି.
सर ठीक
Hello?
ଅଛି, ଆଶୀର୍ବାଦ
Am I
ଦେଖା ଯାଉଛି? ହଁ ହଁ, you are audible as well as visible properly. Okay, carry
yes,
on.
ma'am. Thank you. So thinking means we think what we think. The thought comes to our mind. So people face problem that they can't handle the brain. They can't handle the mind. Thought comes and the mind chatters, and they can't stop it. And the problem is that, and the crisis is that we just think inside the box. If we come just out of the box, then we are going to see the solutions. So when there is no subtraction and division in the mind, if I say everyone that let us don't think about banana, then then the picture of banana will come into in our brain for the last 10 seconds. So brain performs like that. There is no subtraction and division in mind. There is only multiplication and addition in the mind. Not it's like that we are sitting on a vehicle, that we are riding it, and body and mind are are our gear and handle that we are driving it. It upon us that how we are a good driver or a bad driver. But brain serves us. It's an evolution. It's an evolution of millions and millions years that we have that the evolution happened, and we have the capability, and we have the ability to understand everything. But now is the problem that we want to stop it. So that is the crisis. So to so brain serves us. So behind our physiological and psychological process of an human being, there is a you which exists. When we are conscious, we exist. When we are unconscious, we still exist. When we are subconscious, we still exist. When we don't think, we still exist. When we sleep, we still exist. Even if we are in hospital and doctor has given us the injection, we still exist. So there is the you between our psychological and physiological process. There is a you. So we need to understand that you. If we don't understand that you, or we can say it I, or we can say us, so we can't be an out of box thinker. We can't get out of the box, because brain serves us. Brain is the part of our body. It's not the only part of our body. I want to clarify it. My nose is not me, right? My nose is not Ashirbad. My mouth is not Ashirbad. My eyes are not Ashirbad. My hair is also not Ashirbad. Like that, my mind is not Ashirbad. The total body, the total setup is completely, it defines me. So our brain needs to be like um, a pin drop silence classroom. We always scold, always students are scolded of because they are sitting in the classroom but thinking about something else. So thinking is not the problem, but where to think and ability to control our thoughts is the problem. Thinking is not a crisis. Thinking is not the crisis. Crisis is that when we are thinking, and do we have the potential to control our thoughts or not? That is the crisis. Could we control our thought, or it's just they are just moving away, they're just moving and moving? They're not. My hand is if my hand are just moving on their own ways, so it's just disgusting. It's not right. It will not seem better. So like that mind should be like a pin drop silence. It should be in our control. If we want to use it, then we are gonna use it. If we don't want to use it, we're not going to use it. So brain serves us as like body serves us. Heart serves us. If heart pumps as like the heart pumps, brain does its action. An out of box thinker always thinks something different than a normal in box thinker. For me, if someone will ask me, who have you seen anyone an out of box thinker? Yes, I have seen many. I've seen many, but I can give you one example of Sadhguru. He is an out of box thinker because there was a controversial topic 2 years ago when 2020, when COVID, his statement, he said, he has given a statement that Corona doesn't want to kill anyone, and that statement become very controversial in the whole country. But it is a creativity of being an out of box thinker, and it is the limitation that we Indians doesn't understand his statement. We have taken it in a wrong perception. But he wanted to clarify that Corona doesn't want to kill human. Corona only want that he want to live with us. He want to live. He was living in the body of animals decades ago. Now it has come to human body. Now the Corona only wants to live with us, but Corona is so aggressive that his way is so aggressive that the human who have the lesser immune system are unfortunately dying because it reacts. Because the Corona is aggressive, but the Corona is not a murderer. Corona doesn't want to hurt anyone. Corona doesn't want to kill anyone. If we check our blood, then 70% Indians have tuberculosis, and it is in the milder state. It doesn't react anyone. It may be it is nearly 70% of Indians that have tuberculosis, but they have it in a milder state. So Corona is not reactive. He just want to live with us, but the way he lives, that becomes so much aggressive that a human dies because of his less immune system. So being an out of box thinker, out of box thinking is very much essential to be creative, and everyone who is creative is an out of box thinker, because something which is new, which was not yet before, it is possible when you come out of the box. If we fail, every human feels safe inside the box. Inside the box, everything is safe, what we know still yet. But coming out of the box is the most risk job in the life. Coming out of there is a risk for coming out of the box. So everyone, so the creativity is the goal of out of box thinking. I am repeating this creativity word because I have chosen the topic out of box thinking, and I must clarify that what is the productivity of out of box thinking. So creativity and peace are the only productivity of out of box thinking, because an out of box thinker is always a calm decision maker and is always creative and think something different. They think different. They're not selfish creatures. They think about home. When we say home, we have limitation that home means it is our house. But for there are many people who think that the whole earth is their home. For an out of box thinker, he will say that the entire earth is my home. So when we say about home, people think about their house, but earth is also our home. Our home and our house can't exist without the earth. So there are many things that are going on in a right way. That's why we are able to talk or discuss right now. There are many things that we have a good politics. That's why we are able to talk right now. So there are many things which depend. So we need to be an out of box thinker to just remove our headache. Those who are inbox thinker, they suffer headache because they have multiple thoughts, millions of thoughts, because they can control their thoughts, and they got a thoughtful mind, and that's why they face depressions. So if we want to get rid of depressions and create good impressions, so we need to be an out of box thinker and be creative. So thank you. I hope I have completed my time. It is 7 o'clock. I haven't counted the time. So
Okay, you need not to worry. Okay, thank you, Ashirbad, for such a very, I can say, very insightful talk, though very precise, but it creates many thoughts in our minds, I can say. So, thank you very much for such a wonderful talk, such a precise period time limit. But I just want to submit before the our August participants that very logically, Ashirbad started his talk with very logically. He said that as long as we are in the box, we cannot be creative. And to be creative, we have to surpass the boundary, we have to surpass the limit of our box. We have to go beyond that he time and again he just emphasized. So again he in his talk he very beautifully mentioned that we think there are different thoughts in our minds and that there are different stages of consciousness. You can say consciousness persists all in conscious persists through different stages for existence. And the very important thing that I also want to highlight here, and I congratulate Ashirbad for this one, that is thinking is not the crisis. Thinking is not the problem. But how we think and what we think, that is more important for all of us. And the very important thing about his talk is that whether we are really capable of controlling our thoughts or not, that he highlights. And that is, I think, that is the core feature of his talk, because we can think many things. There are many irrational thoughts that also come to our mind. But if we are capable of controlling our thoughts, that is more important. By that, we can make corrections in our thoughts, and we can be a better human thinker, you can say. And here he also emphasized on to become a out box thinker rather than an in box thinker. He cites Sadhguru here, and again, while he cites Sadhguru here, explaining Sadhguru's point of view on this corona pandemic, he highlights that every malady is a remedy, every problem presupposes a solution. So out of box thinker thinks differently. That he exactly as I understand that he wants to conclude, because out of box thinker can only think differently. I can very well relate it with philosophers, and philosophers are also, we can say, out of box thinkers. There is a many times in philosophical discussions we also say that philosophers see what everybody sees, but philosophers think what nobody think. Just that makes, you can say, that makes a thinker genius. I can again cite here the example of Newton. Everybody says the apple is falling from a tree, but nobody thinks why it is not going up. And because he thought in that way, so that make him a genius, and by that he discovered the law of gravitational pull that you all are aware of. So again, the example that I highlight the example highlighted here, that is that depends upon how we perceive, how we think and object, or what sort of perception we carry. That also talks about our personality. And he gave an example, that is home. Whether I see that it is my house and need family members, or I can extend my perception, my thought, and my thinking, and I can include the entire universe. I can think or I can perceive the whole earth as the my home. In a word, I can say that I can develop the tendency of having the feeling of Shiva Kutumbakam. Really, I appreciate your, and I request our Om Narayan sir. I see he is here. I request Om Narayan sir to have his observations on Ashirbad's talk. Om Narayan sir, please. Sir,
Yes, madam.
sir, sir.
Thank
Please
you.
go ahead.
Thank you for. I thank both. First of all, Asirvad for presenting his thoughts so consistently, and also thank Dr. Kalyani Sadangi for so nicely presenting the synopsis. So really interesting. But one thing, what I could see from the entire thought that has been put forth by Asirvad is that every time we feel more or less comfortable with inbox thinking, because it is something which is structured, it is something where we face no opposition, because it is within the structure and we are within that. We feel that to be our comfort zone. Most of the times we try to be within the structure because that is how our mind is conditioned. So the problem arises whenever we think of something to think out of the structure. You see, the postmodern thinkers, they are, well, we can say they are outbox thinkers because they don't go by any fixed structure. They don't go by any fixed models. So they are out of box thinkers. So what is the problem then? So my direct question, I will be coming to this discussion again, but to start with, my direct question to Asirvad, taking into context the outbox thinking, there is always a fear. You see, for an outbox thinker, there is always a fear, the fear of being challenged. You see, if you are within the structure, there is no issue because there are defining rules within that structure. It is only when we try to come out of the structure, you want to say something new, there is a challenge. There is an open challenge. And it is, one should think of it, that it is actually a good feature which we should accommodate. But the problem is there is always a fear of being challenged. You see, even Einstein's thesis was rejected because he was an outbox thinker. He was trying to convey something new. As Asirvad has pointed out, outbox thinking gives some sort of creativity. When Einstein, when he submitted his thesis, probably it was, I don't remember whether it was Heisenberg or Planck, who said this thesis has nothing to do with whatever conditions that we have in physics. So that's how this outbox thinking becomes problematic. Now my problem is how can we can support somebody to go for outbox thinking without fearing of being challenged. What would be your methodology to someone? What would be your suggestion when you say, well, you should go for out box thinking, so what should be your suggestion for those kind of people to come out of fear of being challenged for such an out box thinking? What do you see? How do you say this?
Okay, sir. So fear is a natural phenomenon. Of every human has the aspect of fear. So if we fear that we are doing something new and it can be challenging in our society, but if we know that the path on which we are on, that Aristotle died, but he did not accepted. He never accepted he always admitted the truth.
It was
So
Socrates. It was Socrates.
sorry, Socrates. Sorry. So uh, so challenges come and go. So, like situations come and go. So fear is a natural phenomenon. So it and out of and but an out of box thinker, when thinks out of box, so the level of fear that he faces, it is totally different from an in-box thinker. In-box thinker has also that doesn't mean that, and in that in-box thinker doesn't fear. They also fear. They also feel fear. But but when someone comes out of the box, and if they face some challenges, so I must so from my point of view, I would like to say them that if they know that they're doing something great, they're doing something great for this whole earth, or they're doing something great for they have some connection for in the life. They have already discovered that who is he, or who is that person, or who am I. So if he has discovered something related to his life, so then fear facing the fear is the problem for the in-box thinker, not for an out-of-box thinker. Out-of-box thinker is always out of the box, so fear remains inside the box, not outside the box. There are many things. Fear is always inside the box, not outside the box. So Earth is not crashing. Earth is now safe. Earth is now rotating safe. That's why we are sitting safe. Earth may crash any second, any time. So or something may crash to Earth. Earth maybe it in his position, but something may other can come and crash to the Earth. So it doesn't. So fear remains inside the box, not for an out of box thinker, because an out of box thinker doesn't care for the fear. Rather than he thinks out of box, and though he thinks out of box, so there is no fear and no and no expectation that what people will think. That is the
Okay. So one thing that I could get from you, if you are a freelance thinker, if you are not conditioning your mind, if you are trying to come out of your mind to think something new, you are trying to go beyond the boundaries. So when you're trying to go beyond the boundaries, you have to bracket out the fear and go forward, with irrespective of what people say, or irrespective of what would be the consequences. Because I am a free thinker and I am justified, fully convinced that such a line of out of box thinking would result in some sort of creativity, or it would result in some sort of resolution to a problem, then there is no issue. The fear factor will not be there. So, okay, that I agree. Well, rather you say, rather the fear factor remains within the structural pattern. And for out of box thinker, well, when he has already decided that he has no limitations for his mind, and he has to come out of all the boundaries that we have set up for ourselves, all the society has set up for ourselves. You are trying to come out of it, and so that's how fear. We have in a manner we have escaped out of fear. But now the question again comes is, what are the set of limitations? Why we are not trying to come out of the box? Most of the time we do remain within the pattern. Okay, we try to remain within the boundaries most of the time. Say even 99% of the society, of the human society, they are inbox thinkers. What is the problem? What are the issues? What are the barricades that limit someone to come out of the box? Why people are not coming out of the box? What makes them not to come out of?
Beautiful question. Yes, beautiful question.
Uh, People are not coming out of the box because our brain is constructed in such a way that if we say to I have already given that I've already said that if I say to not think about monkeys for 10 seconds, then the picture of monkey comes into our brain. It's a normal science. It's a not big science that I'm talking about, or rocket science. It's basic science that the brain is that if we not try to think about a certain topic, that topic will come, or that topic may not come for some minute, but it will pop up after a long time with a greater force. So brain is constructed in that way. So people doesn't come out of the box because they are habituated with remaining in the box, in the comfort zone, and what they see, they just live with that. They see how their society is. They see how their friends are. So what they see, they just perceive it like that. They don't think that. They just see and they just enjoy. The problem is that they are not coming out of the box. That they are not questioning themselves, or they are not questioning that how. Einstein only questioned that why the apple fell from the tree.
No,
Why
it is
the
Newton. It is Newton again, not Einstein. Newton.
Newton? Sorry. Uh, so so if we I forgot the question. I got blank actually.
No, you are going right, but actually, you are trying to answer why
But suddenly,
people are not trying to come out of the box. Why? Why people are not trying? Why?
because they're totally comfortable in their zone. They just see and they just go in the direction. They don't question themselves. They don't ask question to themselves. They don't want to know the attitude of learning. There is a lack of attitude of learning. There is a lack of attitude of learning something new. There is a lack of attitude of if someone doesn't want to do something, he can do that thing. Things doesn't happen forcefully. There should be an interest. There should be a passion for it. If someone has the interest to do it, he will do it. He will make it.
Now,
So
again, one thing comes out here: whether nature is something of that sort, which allows what you say out of box thinking, a creative thinking, and that role is assigned naturally to only a selected few, and from their minds some sort of creativity comes. Or do you think that nature has given that element of creativity to everybody, and everybody has that chance of coming out of the box? Or do you say that nature has designed only a selected few to come out of the box to think so that they could induce creativity? If you see again a problem, you see, if some sort of out of box thinking comes to everyone, there would be no pattern, there would be no structure, everybody will be a freelance thinker, so we cannot again unite together. So there is another problem. So my question is, do you think that out of box thinking is naturally designed for only a selected few, so that creativity comes from their minds and that is somehow taken into the box for its applicability for all? Do you think like that?
out of box thinking is for everybody. Everybody has the chance to get out of box thinking because the brain is same. God is very pure, so he never discriminates. So uh, so we need out of box thinker and the in box thinker. The only difference is that we may get to the box, we have the chance to get out of the box and get in the box, but we should know about the box. That is the most important thing. If we know that what is the box, what is the boundaries that that I have created in my mind, then I'm already out of box. I don't need to.
Let me make your position a bit clearer. As you said, as Kalyani madam has even pointed out this issue, that everybody saw apple falling down to the earth, but it was Newton who felt something different. So, in that sense, some sort of creativity has come out because he thought otherwise. Okay, so everybody saw it, but everybody didn't was not as a sort of Newton. They were not thinking differently or thinking in a different say an aspect. So, but Newton stuck. But for Newton, because as a physicist, as a thinker, as a creative thinker, something has stuck to his mind, and that induced to go beyond and to assert something. So that sort of creativity, maybe everybody has that, but I don't think that sort of consciousness, that sort of level of consciousness that you are also talking, that is not for everybody. Well, we are all human beings, but the level of consciousness, they do differ. This is my submission. And those elevated few can really come out of the box, and not really everybody can come. If everybody tries to come out, and if the nature also allows everybody to come out of the box, then again that would be a chaos, I feel. What do you suggest?
I suggest that if everyone would think out of box, then there may not be a chaos also, because if everyone is peace, then there would be no war. And out of box thinking doesn't say that we will think and do whatever we want. That doesn't that I'm not thinking that we are just thinking anything that I want to think and anything I want to do.
No, out of box thinking, again, when you say it is creativity, it is not wild guess, it is not anything that you want to say. No, not that. Out of box thinking, you say it is creativity, so it is a positive
Sir, may
thing.
I? Sir, may I?
Yes, madam.
If the house allow me, I can summarize both Om Narayan sir's observation and Ashirbad's response to him. And Ashirbad, I think Ashirbad wants to say that everybody has that capacity. Everybody has that capacity to go beyond. Everybody has that capacity.
Some network issue. Madam, yes,
Om Narayan sir pointed out that out of fear, we just let ourselves be in the comfort zone, be an inbox thinker. We do not dare, because we see consequences are there, societal constraints are there. So we do not want to go beyond the comfort zone, and that may be the response. I think out of that we just allow ourselves to be in the structured pattern, and we do not want to venture out of the structure, out of the pattern. That may be the reaction. That's why those who dares to go beyond, they become genius, they become outbox thinker. This may be, I may be wrong, I may be interpreted in a different way, but after hearing both Om Narayan sir's observation and Ashirbad's response, this can be taken as my submission, my understanding to both of them.
Yes, ma'am. Everyone has the capacity. Everyone has the capacity, but they don't access it. That is, they don't access. They don't access it, but they has the capability of going beyond.
Om sir, hello.
Well, I agree.
Hello.
I don't say, because as we say that everybody is potentially divine, everybody has that consciousness, but there is a degree. Okay, so there is always a degree. We cannot measure everybody with the same degree. There is that consciousness. I have no question about the consciousness. I agree that same consciousness is there, but there is a variation in the sort of degree. Even the inanimate objects are said to be having consciousness these days. So the consciousness vibrates everywhere, but the degree, that's the variation. I play cricket. Virat Kohli plays cricket, but he is selected, but I am not. I'm a house. I'm a what do you say? Okay, so everything depends on your capabilities. How do you design it out? So, well, I understood that there should be always there is always there should you see, and that creativity gives novelty to your say thought process, your decision making, your activity, and your way of delivering things. So there is always a positivity to this out of box thinking, but there are limitations why we don't come out of it. There are various challenges to it, and
Yes,
whenever you try
yes,
to come out of the box, you have a lot of things to justify. So when you are so much prepared, and who are prepared? Those who are consciously elevated. As you said of Sadhguru, Sadhguru is very nicely you have said. He's an out of box thinker. Well, why he says so? Because he says every problem comes with a solution. Because he thinks something like this: every problem अगर समस्या है तो समाधान भी है. Every problem comes with a solution. So it's an out of box thinking. But in box thinker, he says, oh, problem. So he gets incorporated into that problem and he creates a bigger problem for himself. So that's the difference. So when you talk of Sadhguru, he says problem. Well, there is a problem, and if there is a problem, there is a solution to it. Wait, have patience. So that is the difference, the mark of difference between somebody who is structured within and somebody who tries to fly out of the structure. Very nicely done, Ashirbad. Anyway, yes,
thank you, Om Narayan sir, for such a
call somebody.
for raising such profound questions, and I also thank
Anirudh sir
Ashirbad.
wants to say something. Probably he was unmuted.
Sir. I request Aniruddha sir to have his own observations on
Oh,
Ashirbad's.
thank you very much. Actually, I enjoyed the talk of Ashirbad and discussion of Rao and Kalyani ma'am. I just want to say I have listened several talks on this topic in Infosys twice also. Just I want to have a clarification to Ashirbad that he is saying that everybody is capable. But I think what is possible for Mahatma Gandhi, is it possible for every human being? Next, once he said that uh, fear is natural. But in my experience, I have seen several people, they don't have fear. In Odia, I'm going to Charidori Kota. Charidori Kota, fear नहीं किछि. ये ऑपर्टी के आशीर्वाद कहो तो मैं रियली आई एम वेरी मच थैंकफुल टू यू. ओके.
Yes, sir. Sir, if we want to be Mahatma Gandhi, then it is merely impossible. But if I want to be Asirvad, so it is out of box thinking that doesn't define that we need to be Mahatma Gandhi, but we can be like Mahatma Gandhi. But that doesn't mean that if we are like Mahatma, we can go even the beyond of Mahatma Gandhi. That is the capability. The Mahatma Gandhi is not. I want to say that our brain functions in the way that there is no subtraction and division in our mind. There is only multiplication and addition. The thing we always discuss about the positivity, how people always say about removing negative thoughts. So if we try to remove it, then it only adds and multiples. There is no delete option. It is not a laptop or it is not a PC or it is not an Android phone that we have the delete option and we will delete this thought and this thought will delete. There is no delete option. People are unable to stop their mind. While they sit to meditate, they just say that I can stop my mind. So it is not the way that the mind stops. So mind will stop when we will die only. When our heart will stop, when our kidney will stop, when our liver will stop, then our brain and mind is going to stop. So rather than it is very impossible. So, and if we're talking about fears, my previous topic about death consciousness. So someone who is conscious of death means he's totally out of fear of his death. So who doesn't fear death? So that doesn't fear is a natural phenomenon because it releases some hormone when we have anxiety and fear. Some hormone releases in our brain. So fear is a natural phenomenon. People there may be some exceptions like soldiers are very brave, but though they are brave, that doesn't mean that they don't fear. Their definition of fear may be something else. You fear for the knife, I may fear for the stair. You fear for the cat, I may fear for the height. When I see from a long distance from the down, I may fear the height. And someone who sees the dog, and someone fear dogs. So having the fear aspect is totally different person to person. Like there are people who are very brave. They can fight 3 to 4 people who are fighting in UFC or the WWE. They can fight with 3 to 4 people, but still there are many fighters who have some phobias, who have some fears. They have fear of light, they fear darkness, but they are a good fighter in the world. So having fear aspects is different to human being, and I have said that every human being is capable of it, because that's why we are called being. There is a be, that's why we are capable. Other any animals are not capable, but every human is capable. We can't be Virat Kohli, we can't be a cricketer like Virat Kohli, because I'm not a cricketer and I can't be Virat Kohli. It's nearly impossible, but I can be something that I am passionate about. Because if I'm not a good cricketer and I will play cricket, then I will fail, and then I will face failure. It's a normal thing. So if I'm a good orator, and if I'm good writer and I give speech, then I may again face failure. So it depends upon us. We must choose the right direction, the outer box thinking in the right direction. We must discover it. That is the thing. Fear is a normal psychology, but it matters human to human. It differs human to human.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Aniruddha sir.
Thank you, Ashirbad. Thank you.
Now I see a long note made by K.C. Patnaik sir and Sravani madam. Now I request K.C. Patnaik sir to unmute and just either his observations or questions he can put before Ashirbad. He has made a long note. Actually, if Ashirbad, yes, sir, please,
Am I audible?
go ahead.
Audible,
Yes,
sir. Audible, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Audible, sir. Audible.
This is a very interesting topic. I was fascinated because thoughts is the most important thing. Man, the thought is the root of everything. It can create success, optimism, pessimism, everything. So the most important gradient in the human character and personality is the thought, and one should know how to regulate the thoughts. What is the manner? How to regulate the thoughts? How to avoid wrong thinking? And how to articulate the thoughts. How can you build your thoughts? So there are ways and means how to do it. And most important, I cannot, because that is a long talk. If I'm given a chance sometime later, I can talk. Because on the art of thinking, I am going on giving talks in different places. And this is most of the important aspect in the human character. It can create disaster. It can create very good result also. So one should know, and this most important thing is introspection. If you call back this whatever has happened in the whole day and check where you are wrong and where you are right, then you will realize that there was but that should not be repentance. One should not feel bad about it. One should only be bold enough to say that yes, I made a mistake in talking like this, I made a mistake in thinking like this, I made a mistake in doing like this, but don't repent. Maybe next day again it may happen. But again, maybe after 2-3 times, it will disappear. The transformation takes place. The thoughts are modulated. The thoughts are changed. And then there is another issue that how you regulate because of the company, because of reading good books, because of thinking in a positive way. One can, if Doshu Ratnakar become even a Valmiki. So a man can be transformed. If his thoughts are regulated, he becomes a nice person. The man is a full character, the man is some of his thoughts only. No man is bad. His thoughts are bad. So that's why it is said, don't hate the sinner, but the sin. Because he thought wrongly, he committed a mistake. Because if he thought it otherwise, he would have committed a better thing. So the most important thing is how you regulate the thought And there are a lot of books are now there out of thinking, how to think. And there are in Indian philosophy, it is a lot of things are there. If you go on Gita or Upanishads or anything, a lot of books are there. Swami Chinmay has written a lot of books on thinking. Thinking is the most important aspect of human character. So one and the fear also comes out of thinking. You know, everybody knows he is dying. He will die the day he is born. Supposing that he would have not have forgotten, he would have been dying every day. Supposing he would have been given a date of death and the date of dawning, he would have been dying every day, calculating where I will die. It is blessed that we forget that when we will die. So we are actively working and doing our best within our span of life. Otherwise, you could not have done it. So I do not want to take much of time because there is already a talk. If there is a chance, if you are really interested, then a lot of discussion can be made on this, and this is very useful to every human being, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, gender, or age, from the childhood to the elder adult. The thoughts are regulated from the childhood itself. The impression is created in the mind, and that character is built on that process of thought. This is how the whole human character is built up. The whole personality is built on thought. A man shows a thought, reaps a habit. Man shows a habit, reaps a character. Man shows a character, reaps a behavior. Man shows a behavior and character is destiny. It's an destiny. So what starts as a simple thought ends in the destiny. So I don't want to make more discussion about it because it's a lot of things. And if there is a chance to discuss in detail about the thought process, how one can regulate the thoughts, what is its effect on the human mind, in the society, even the society in the world at all, this can be discussed. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to sharing. And I'm happy that there is a thought, such thinking are going on. And I'm happy that I could get an opportunity to listen to this. I do not know most of the people who are there. I respect all of them as intellectuals. But I am a thinker and I am also involved in giving motivational talks in thought process, particularly in character building and how to come out of fear and how to build confidence. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for such a beautiful amalgamation of internal character and external conduct that you made in your deliberation. And definitely, philosophy family will try to encase you in our future programs. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Sravani madam to unmute herself and please make her observations on Ashirbad stuff. Sravani madam, please unmute.
Dr. Kalyani madam, namaskar. Namaskar, Narayan sir. Many good wishes. And I also convey my congratulations to Ashirbad that he has a very good thinking behind this presentation, and very smartly he presented that I have been impressed by his talk and all examples, the live examples he has given that impressed us in a very much. I have been impressed. The three to four things that I noticed, very good things that we have to be. That is creativity, inverse out of box thinking. That is innovative think. Some great people. Somebody has told that the great people they do the same thing that we do, but they do it in a different way. That what I am thinking is he or she is also thinking, but he or she is thinking in a different way. That makes us difference between persons. And we have also brain. If science is also telling that we are not using our brain in complete sense. If we can use our brain, then we can do a lot of things. That we sometimes we also don't want to use it, or different on the basis of different consciousness that Unaran sir rightly said that consciousness is also doing a major factor behind our thinking. And main thing is that in thinking is a general process, but what we think, where we think, who is thinking, when it should be thought, that should be very particular, so that one can be a very good out of box thinker, and he or she can succeed in his or her life. That people, those who have thought in those who have done it in a very right way, they have exceeded, they have gone to higher level. So this is very important. Thinking is very natural, but it's in a right way that Ashirbad has told in a very right way that it should be in a right direction. That I accept, that I agree, and we must use our brain in a complete sense. That capacity we have to try. That capacity has given naturally to us, that we must try. And I also wish Ashirbad to think more and more and use more his brain power. Thank you very much being a part of this program. I thank all of you, and I respect all of you. I respect K.C. Patnaik sir, Om Narayan sir, Kalyani madam, those who have presented, and they have given their opinion on this thought that I also came to know about. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you all.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you, Sravani madam, for all your appreciations for such a young talent who is present with us. Now I request Pramod Kumar Das. Sir.
Only one line, Malab,
Sir,
a
sir.
summary of the entire year, listening to Sravani madam and Patnaik sir, who have been given a lot of mind to this. Well, I can bring out something like this. So, for an out-of-box thinker, the first thing that is needed is having a control over the thought. First of all, there is a need for exercising control over the mind. Having done so, one has to transcend beyond the mind. And those, first of all, exercising control over the mind and then going beyond the mind, two stages. If that is possible, then one can be an out-of-box thinker. And why people are not out-of-box thinkers? Because they fail in the first exam itself, because they are not able to control the mind. Because the mind is like a monkey jumping here and there is no thread, there is no rope to control that monkey, and it is jumping everywhere, jumping in all possible directions, and it is very difficult to control the mind. So most of the people, they fail to exercise control over the mind. That's why people at large are not out-of-box thinkers. Okay, and those who exercise control over the mind and also go beyond the mind, they turn up to be creative thinkers, and that is all about out-of-box thinking, as I feel so. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful conclusion, and taking into account all the learned participants' observations. Now I request Pramod Kumar Das sir, the founder of this philosophy family, kindly unmute and have his own observations on Ashirbad stuff. Pramod sir, please unmute yourself. Pramod Das sir. Pramod sir, are you there? Hello? Pramod sir, are you there? Yes, sir. Sir, please unmute. Yes.
I enjoyed the discussion. I shall submit my view. There are two possibilities. One is the in-box and the other the out-box. The fact is that we are born in the box. This is the fact. We are born in the box because we are born unconscious. And the moment we are become conscious of different and we have different experience of life gradually, we become conscious of of the reality of a particular phase. Suppose the childhood experience, then adult experience. So as our mind becomes mature, our area of understanding that also get mature. I mean to say, we are born with strong determining factors. Strong determinism is there because we have our family, we have our parents, we are born in an address, we are born with our gender, we have not chosen to be a male person. I have a male biological body. I have not decided my parents. So these preconditions are there. The box is already there. Our physical existence is in the box. Ashirbad wants to say, being this the fact that we are already in the box biologically, we have a brain that needs to be fascinated by the wonders. Wonders means what is experienced and what can be experienced. That means we have an intrinsic urge to become out of box, to see the out of box. As we become interested to go on a picnic, to experience the new thing. So the brain is not satisfied with its biological boundary. So that is a kamana, that is a desire to go out of the box. Therefore, there are scientists. Therefore, there are philosophers. Therefore, there are great thinkers. But that means everybody has that possibility and a capability. But it depends upon what is the height of your wall, how strong your wall is. If your wall is higher than me, then you will reach late, I shall reach fast. So in one life of 60 years or 70 years or 100 years, if one does not desire to be groomed, to transform in a very short span of life, then he will not reach. He can't come out of box in one life. If this life is the only life according to science, then this life is the only chance to come out of box. So whatever may be the height of the wall, this by our self-effort, by our practice, we can come out of that wall. So the wall is constructed before our birth. That is a strong determinism. Again, we have created our own wall. So the previous wall and our created wall, both can be transcended. We can transcend both the walls. This is the human possibility. And the time limit is this life. 20 years lost, 40 years lost, 60 years lost. The rest of our life is the time limit. So time is running so fast. So come out of the box very soon. If you are still in the box. So that is the message. So life is the journey from in-box to out-box. But we are running in a wrong direction, Ashirbad said, that we are running in a wrong direction. We are repairing our box, we are designing our box, we are decorating our box very meticulously. That means we are very much interested in our bondage. But the ultimate goal should be come out of a box, come out of a box. And that capacity is there in our brain. Therefore, brain wanders. Mind is always in the pursuit of the infinite. Being in the finite body, we are blessed with such a sophisticated mind that makes our life transformed from one level of consciousness, one level of existence to another better level of existence. Three sentences I shall say. We are born in box. The highest kamana, the highest, purest desire of man is to come out of the box. Life is the journey from this to that. So live your life in this direction. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir, for all your encouraging and positive notes. So, shall I conclude here, or I do not see any questions here? Shall I
Yes,
conclude?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So, taking into account everyone's observations on this very burning topic, let me conclude within just 2 to 3 sentences. There is a saying we know, particularly those who have philosophical training, as we think, so we become. Okay. So, even to take into account the K.C. Patnaik sir's observations, all our thinkings are they are thought, you can say thought is the source of all our actions. So if thought is the source, thought, you can say thought to be the spring of all our actions. So my submission before all the participants is to think positively. So even a single action with right ideation can make a wonderful change to the entire world. This is my submission. Even this is what exactly Ashirbad wants to conclude, and I am also supporting to him. And again quoting K. Om Narayan sir's observation that, so it is time, let's transcend the inbox and transform to become a better human being. Again, to quote Pramod sir, we can say that we are born with the pattern, with the inbox, but our kamana should move to become out of box. And with this, I thank Ashirbad for his very articulated understanding about the topic. Very logically, I can say, systematically and consistently he presented his thought in a very beautiful manner. So congratulations and all our blessings and thanks to you, Ashirbad. And again, definitely we wish to hear you more and more in this platform. And I also thank you for your freelance thinking on this topic, and I am thankful to K. Om Narayan sir, K.C. Patnaik sir, Shravani madam, Pramod sir for his very articulated, particularly K. Om Narayan sir, the way he initiated the discussion with the profound understanding of the topic, and again he went into submitting the conclusion. That is really wonderful. I appreciate and I am thankful to K. Om Narayan sir. I am also thankful Shravani madam for all her positive connotations about Ashirbad to encourage him to be in more and more such activities. I am thankful to Aniruddha sir. I am thankful to K.C. Patnaik sir. I am thankful to Pramod Kumar sir. I am thankful to one and all and for your patience and for your participation. Thank you and thank you, Ashirbad. All stay happy and stay healthy. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. We also thank you because you have coordinated so nicely and you have synopsized so nicely. So I should thank Ashirbad Das for his profound interest in delivering speeches and and he's not fearful of facing the challenges, the questions, and that is a true reflection of the out of box thinking, because a mind which is structured fears of what sort of questions will come, how I will answer, whether people will think negative of me. So that sort of fear is not there in Ashirbad, and that is a good
Yes,
that's
I
a
do
good
agree
reading I
with
can
him.
see from his
Yeah.
face. He's always interested to have questions, and he positively sees the question and tries to answer. And he doesn't fear as to what he will speak on. So that is again an out of box thinking, which I should say at least, and that is an aspect that we can see in Ashirbad, and that can keep him moving. And I wish him all success and greater speeches in this platform and various other platforms to bring in name for himself and his family. So with all
We always wish Om Narayan sir such active participation to really make it very lively, very encouraging, and very in a very, just like I'm feeling now, just like I'm in a physical mode. We are discussing, so for making the entire program so lively. So all my thanks, it goes to our K. Om Narayan sir, and I am really thankful, and I am also fully agreed with Om Narayan sir, for because all through the last 1.5 hours I've seen Ashirbad, no fear is there. No fear is there. Really, I also agree with Om Narayan sir that I can say that he is out of box thinker, and we seem to be more and more creative and to be more and more out box thinker. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your coordination and bringing all things together. So very nice of you, madam. Thank you. So I also wish you personally that you are into a new job now. So we wish a lot of success, a lot of research in the platform that you have got, because you will be creating a lot of thinkers, and maybe it would be right time that Ashirbad has given a message to be out of now you too suggest your students to be out of box thinkers, so that some sort of creative work would really come out from this land, Odisha, I feel. So that would be a great foundation for you too, because you are now into the research mode now, more research you would be guiding. So I think you should also instruct your students to be out of box thinkers, so that something new comes to this land, from this land. So thank you very much, madam. Thank you, Ashirbad.
Thank you.
Pramod sir, and so thank Anurit Panda sir for being connected, and he is a regular participant in our programs. So I thank everybody, even Pramod
Even
sir.
Shravani madam. Even
Shravani madam.
Shravani madam.
Yes,
Sir.
Shravani madam, Swarna madam, and Patnaik sir. And we should invite Patnaik sir because he wanted to say something in a greater extent. And Pramod sir to do that work. Okay, thank you all. Namaskar. Good wishes.
I am also thankful to Swarna Lata Tripathi madam for grooming Ashirbad in such a very disciplined way. I am thankful to her, and I am thankful to one and all. Okay.